guys, welcome to Young and Limitless. In today's episode, we are talking to Albert, who is the husband to Leonida, and we are going to be discussing how, as a father, you can help your children, your teenagers, grow up and mature into beautiful adults. So Albert says the key is to drop from your head into your heart, and he shares some really amazing life examples. So, who is Albert? Well, Albert is a psychotherapist. He has a PhD in sociology. He's the president of the Children's Helpline. He is a uni professor of child and adolescent psychotherapy. And he has just got some amazing stories. So enjoy listening, guys. Albert, you have 4 children. How old are the children? And do you have boys or do you have girls and boys?
We have 2 boys, 2 girls. So first is boy, old 32, then is a girl 30, and another girl is 27, and the youngest boy is 25.
Wow. So you finished your parenting of adolescents like 10 years ago almost.
Almost, yes.
And John?
Yeah, I'm very happy that with this period our relationship didn't end. So
what did you find the hardest thing about it now that you're over it?
Now when I look back, I'm maybe just sorry for all those moments where I couldn't focus on our relationship, on our attachment, on what at the end composite the relationship, and that is how we are attached to each other, how we relate to each other, how we bond with each other, and no academic achievements and other failures that they did or I did are not important anymore. So yeah. But the wisdom comes always at the end, so we have to take the path.
So you were talking about the bonds and the attachment with, like, as a parent, how, I don't mean in charge or in control, but how much support did you give your children as they were changing and you were changing?
Yes, maybe for me, the lesson is I was not aware how important are the patterns that we get from our adolescence period or from our parents. How important was, that what I felt then as my spontaneous behavior or as my spontaneous reactions, how this is composed and, I don't know how to say, imprinted with my experiences, with my patterns. So I was not aware of this, and I struggled in many topics. Now I would do differently, but then I was not aware. I was not equipped, let's say, and thankfully I had my wife who somehow balanced me all the time, how she all the time supported me with some feedback, and she somehow tried to influence that I make a change, and so, and that was hard and funny.
So I'm just checking I've heard you right. You said that it was quite challenging for yourself when they were going through their teenage years, because you were reflecting on the imprinting from your own parenting, from your own parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
What I have to say is, especially with boys, I realized that I didn't have a model of a father-boy connection. So because I somehow smartly and smoothly escaped the relationship with my father when he tried to come in a relationship with me. He invited me to help him by work, and I escaped very, very smartly. So I didn't have this, I didn't know what to speak with a boy, how to create a relationship. I was always asking them, how was it school, when you will finish your duties, why you are not finishing already, and they also refused the contact with me in this way, and I was not able to find another way, a nicer way to invite them in the relationship. And in one moment I realized this is the same as I was experiencing in my teenage period. And I promised to myself, I will be never like my father. And now this is, it's the same. So, and I thought to myself, let's do something differently. And, it was like, I was speechless. I just rationally knew that I should do something differently, but what? No idea. And yes, that was moments of learning, let's say. And then it was a moment when we came, yes, in a fight situation, when I was aware that I have to react like authority, but if I will say no, then this will be war again, and I have to say yes with something, but I didn't know what to say after this yes. And it was a moment when maybe first time in my life, I switched from my rationality to my emotional part. And I just, it was like he asked me if he can go to some concert or whatever, and I said yes. When we will fix our relationship. So when we will make out our relationship, and then it started. So he just blowed out all about me, how he. What he has to complain about me, and I was strong enough to just to listen, not to comment, not to react, not to defend, and so this was in tears, and then I just continued in this way. Also, when he ended, I said, what are my wishes about my images, what father I like to be, what relationship I would like to have with him, and so. And that was, I think, the moment of changing the transgenerational pattern of father-boy relationships. So we really became like, this from that moment on, and we are still. So I'm speaking about my oldest son, and we didn't have some deep conversations or some very, I don't know, emotional conversations. But from that moment on, when we are coming, when it's possible to come in physical touch, he always give me a touch, and I respond. And we have such a secret or worthless relationship, let's say. We feel very strong how we are connected, and
Wow.
so this is maybe something what I must say I'm proud of this. And yes, what was interesting after this experience, before he didn't listen to me, he didn't respect me as authority, he refused all my advices and after this, he changed completely, and he improved in school. He knew everything what was my thoughts already, and he responds to this in way where I want to support him and help him, and this is really amazing how. Out of this, for example, I realized, what is the motivational, the ground of motivation in nowadays adolescents. So how, when they feel that an important relationship counts to them, when they feel you are important for me, this relationship is important for me. This makes sense for them, and they react or they behave, they live out of this sense. So because of this relationship makes sense for me, I will respect your rules. I will respect what you are saying to me, and so on and so on.
So if there's I'm pretty sure there's some fathers out there who have some teenage girls and boys, what advice would you give them to build that connection so their teenagers feel they value the relationship, which means that they will not pull away and they will want to listen, want to be together?
Yes, I think first of all, our own patterns are important. So to be aware of this model. So if I have, I name it a safe model, then I'm maybe more playful, and I can be maybe more relaxed and authentic about this, using this model. But if I don't have a safe model, then I have to work on myself to be aware about maybe the question is what I miss from my parents, and then I will get the answer what I have to give to my child. So this is maybe the first step, and yeah, there are many steps. We wrote a book, Connect with Your Teenager, and we describe a lot of tips about creating connection in this book.
Yeah, you could show your book if it's there. Mine's on the bookshelf.
Yes, I can. I have it here.
And it's nice. It's in English, so yeah.
It's in English. It's available on Amazon. Yeah.
So what you're saying is to know yourself, to know your patterns, to know what you missed so that you can give your children what you missed, because that's really what we all want to do. So if there's a dad there and he doesn't feel comfortable talking to his mates about the issues he's having emotionally with his children, is there anything he can do for himself, or is the best thing to do I don't know, what can he do?
This is very, very important, very good question. So in my case, I have to say that, the quality of partnership reflects in quality of parenting. But it's not now, for those who are not in partnership, that they're lost. But it's important that you have, let's say, a reflective person who can help you in those situations. So I always, when I missed somehow, or when I was lost, when I was trapped in some, whatever, my wife, Leah, she somehow empathically reflected that she understands me, how this must be terrible for me, how And this helped me to express, that I need maybe some help, that I don't know what to do, that it was not so idealistic like sounds now. I defend a lot to become aware of this, but I think this is really important to have a person where you can lean on and share this vulnerability parts of us, where again, I think here our emotional part speaks the most powerful language.
It's about being brave and because to face the stuff we went through as teenagers was hard enough going through it, but even to reflect back, it brings up stuff that we haven't really wanted to face, some of us ever, and it is hard work. So having a reliable partner who can reflect back to us is a really special gift, isn't it?
That's true, but what is also true is that I was not all the time my best issue, and children, they sense somehow that I tried to do my best, and they value this part of me. So they now when we are speaking or how I feel our relationship, they really admire me because of my tries and of my small changes I did, not because of my missed opportunities and failures. So this is, I think it's important to know that we don't need to be perfect, but it's enough that we are just, oriented to that goal.
I love that, because sometimes parents beat themselves up because they think they're just not good enough, and the kids know their hearts, they know that they're trying, like you said.
And this is in our country with clients I'm working, it's a very hard pressure. This feeling I'm not good enough, I'm not a good parent, and then this is such a pressure, such a burden there. I don't see any sense of this, because it's enough that we are parents.
And was it different with your teenage girls as opposed to with your boys?
I have 4 children, and everyone is their own character, and so our first girl was very, let's say, with a big self-esteem, and she was able to stand for her in very early period, and so she gave me so much comments to just shut me down, and I was just so okay, my work is done. Well, that was my experience, but I don't know, maybe I can tell you a story. How Leah tried me to make contact on some, soft topics, let's say, for me. I was not very equipped how to speak about body changes, about sexuality, and so. And then Leah proposed to me, okay, the girl is now old enough, she needs her first bra, and please go with her to buy this. And I was, no, where to go, what to say. don't do this to me, and she just said, okay, there's the store, and take your credit card with the girl will talk, so you don't need to talk. You just go there, pay, and come home. And it was like this maybe. But then a friend of her came, and I heard from her room, "Yeah, wow, he went with you. Wow, what a father!" And that was moments where I, let's say, get some points in the relationship. And yes, now we remember some moments, we were laughing about, or we just remember. I don't know, maybe this is not to defend my maybe not very kind way of communicating with them. But we always fight with Leah that, I'm too hard, and my opinion was that she's too soft, and that she's spoiling, and that I don't know what. And then once we traveled on the seaside where we went on vacation, and Claire said, "Do you remember here we had a big fight, and the father was completely out of his mind and so." And then a girl said, "Yes, mother, but at father we almost have the feeling that we know what will happen, but you was always whoa."
So you were the predictable one, and Leah was the one, the outside of the box one.
It was the message that it's also maybe important. How important to children is that, yes, that this is, the relationship is predictable, that you know what will happen. And the style is not so important. Of course, I'm not speaking about some violence or
no.
But it's true that men are maybe more, let's say, we are not so soft, or we can say something what is not so gentle, or but the feeling the child has is that, yes, I know. Also with this strong grasp, that means I feel safe. And I think this is important. And yes, we need both sides, and children.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
There needs to be harmony, isn't there? There's mutual respect.
Yeah, or maybe not harmony, because I cannot say that our parenting was a harmonic story.
Okay.
It was at least this. But all the time somehow, that you try to attune with each other, and somehow to synchronize this different harmony is maybe something.
Complementary then, like you said,
Okay.
in synchronizing. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So when your kids were teenagers and you saw yourself reflected in their behaviors, how did that make you feel?
Yes, sometimes very hard. But maybe also, maybe, this was opportunity also to my growth. Because when I step out of this defense mode, that, I could see maybe from empathic side to the child. I could imagine how is to be a child. I could step in their shoes and ask myself, do you remember when your parents did the same to you? How did you feel? And I developed this empathic side to say, well, I understand. I will change my behavior. I will not say this again to my child or to do this to my child. And you know, I think this is a choice you have. Like when you see something what you don't want to see in your child, you can trying to influence from outside to change this or to how to say, to deny or but you can also go empathically to this behavior and understand what is going on in fact.
So how would you help a young father be release the empathic side of him?
I believe that our big desire as because we all have this experience that we were children, and our big desire is to have maybe more understanding and more empathy from our parents to us. So I believe in this part, that we have this part and that we just have to address this part of us, and then all starts, let's say, spontaneously or automatically.
I love how you started and you said that all your qualifications and all your studying and training, there's nothing that can prepare you for being a parent, and for especially as they get older into teenagehood. So if you were to go back and tell your younger self, something that's a key piece of advice, what would you say to yourself?
That's so. I've become to complicate my mind with this question.
Oh, sorry.
But yes, I studied a lot of yes. In that time, we didn't know a lot about neuroscience and what we know today, but. I felt like, what was in books is something what is completely different to my reality. Thankfully, I listened to my wife, she was always, listening her soul and her heart. And so this was maybe, yes, if you ask me for advice, I would say go from your head, from your rationality to your emotional part, and just attune with your kid, and just remember how it was when we were kids and what we needed. And you will get all answers what you need.
Cool, thank you so much. It's nice to have male role models because especially a lot of the young people I work with, they just don't have that. So it's nice to have, that want to share and want to communicate to other young men how to support them with their own issues, but also how to support their teenagers. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate what you shared. And just, guys, thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Esther. Bye.